Hey, friends, welcome back to Dentistry Unmasked. I'm David Rice, and here again, as usual,
Hey everybody, Pam Maragliano-Muniz. David, what is up today?
all great things up today. We've got three incredible guests with a lot of cause behind what we're doing. So I'm excited to hear some stories and Pam kind of have you like really lead us down the path.
I will. So, an initiative this year with dental economics is to recognize dentists that have been in the field for 10 years or less and those that are contributing significantly, whether it's to their communities, in their practices. Maybe they've grown their practice really well, or maybe they're kicking ass on social media. Whatever it is that's making them a rising star, we are now highlighting them. So, today's episode is really special to me because I have our first two rising stars as guests. I also have our guest who is our partner with this at Dental Economics with Apex Dental Partners. So I would love to welcome doctors James Wanamaker, Alyssa Fisher, and David Lohmann of Apex Dental Partners. Welcome, everybody.
It's great
Hello.
to be
Thanks
here.
for having us.
Hey, gang.
Thank you.
So I know why you guys were selected, but I kind of want to, hear a little bit about your story. So James, I'm going to start with you. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and about your practice and what you've been able to grow in, I don't want to say such a short time, but a little bit faster than say some of us out there.
Yeah. So I graduated from Buffalo in 2016, did a GPR in upstate New York, finished that in 2017, joined the current practice I'm at, Smiles of Skinny Atlas. It's a small restorative cosmetic based practice in upstate New York, kind of smack dab in the middle of New York State. Joined that in 2017 and became a partner in 2019. Outside of my practice, I wear a few other hats. I'm very involved with organized dentistry. I'm the immediate past chair of the new dentist committee for the New York State Dental Association, and I am the vice chair and incoming chair of the ADA's new dentist committee. And I'll be sitting on the ADA board of trustees starting in October. Outside of organized dentistry, I've also had the pleasure of having Dr. David Rice as a mentor and friend since dental school, and I'm the director of education for Ignite DDS.
He's doing some things.
I was just going to say one peeve of mine are lazy people. And I'm so annoyed right now because you just don't seem to do enough for us, James.
You,
Don't
you need
sleep
more
much.
things.
I mean, seriously, how do you find the time to do all these things and what keeps you inspired?
I think most importantly is I have a very supportive wife at home that keeps our household running smooth with our couple kids, and then I have a great partner in my practice that is very supportive of me having these outside pursuits and being able to balance practice, family, and these outside activities.
I can vouch for Francesca being like an incredible human. And you're right. It takes both sides of all the relationships we're all in to make this really sing and to, allow us to do the things we do. How about you,
Absolutely.
Alyssa?
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a little bit of lag, but congratulations to you, James. Much deserved award. It's an honor to be one of the first recipients of this award as well, too. So a little bit about me. I graduated in 2018 and joined a practice right away outside of school, and continue to be at that same practice. So um, it's actually in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's in a renovated barn, which is
Cool.
pretty unique. It's called Tooth Acres Dentistry. And so the mastermind behind that, Dr. Gary Painter, he has been a great mentor to me ever since I graduated. So I find that is invaluable for anyone coming out of dental school to have a great mentor by your side and helping to navigate, coming out of school and learning how to incorporate patient care in daily life. Took over the practice in 2021, so after COVID pandemic. That was a quite interesting time, challenging for every dentist out there. But we made it through. We weathered through, and I couldn't have done that without my support system as well. I have family in town, which is super helpful with having a family of my own. We have two young boys at home, my husband and I, and we have a third one on the way in August. So very busy there. My husband's very supportive of the dental practice. He has a financial background, so that really helps to manage the business because, as we know in dental school, we don't learn a lot about the business side. So it's nice that he has that financial background and able to support me where needed as well too. So
I can't even imagine. Like, I can barely keep things together with two dogs and a cat. So congratulations. I mean, that's amazing that you guys are able to do all that you do. I have a question for you, Alyssa, because David and I, we
Sure.
talked about this already, and we were talking about how we were talking about our first jobs. Like, this was offline, different time.
Mhm.
And it's not common for a dentist to kind of find their best job as their first
Mhm.
job. So, what did you look for in an office to make that a perfect fit for you?
So mentorship, private practice is really what I was looking to get into. Um, a couple other key indicators, making sure it was a healthy practice, that the new patient flow was there and going to be stable for two doctors. Um, and also just observing the practice, observing, seeing what a day in the life of that dental practice would be like, seeing how the team works together, what that would be like before making a final decision.
It feels like both you and James did more homework than maybe the average young dentist does walking into an associateship, and that you both had a bigger picture vision earlier on in your career that's helped get you to that place, which is kind of a cool segue to you, David, and Apex, because in this like life and timing, I just had the pleasure of hanging out with some of your executive team and young dentists from, I don't know, 13 different locations. And you do a lot of that, which is why I'm guessing this is so important to you. But I don't want to speak for you. So tell us about Apex and tell us why Rising Stars is so important.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and congratulations to both doctors on kind of all the success early in your career and obviously winning this award. Yeah, for us, we were founded with kind of the principles and goal to give that high quality private practice a place into the future. And part of our model is providing that private practice experience, that culture, that ability to build long-term patient relationships to the next generation of doctors. For us, it's really important to do that both internally with doctors supported by Apex, but really we kind of think it's our obligation to be that advocate in the industry for that younger generation of doctors who's coming out of school, who enter dentistry with kind of those same expectations of practice and that doctor-patient relationship that they wanted to build that's been practiced in this industry for decades. So this award was really exciting for us. We loved that it wasn't just clinical or kind of just maybe non-clinical, focused on any particular aspect of dentistry, but really kind of recognizing those doctors early in their career who are really going above and beyond to make an impact on the industry and really show that there's a lot of bright years ahead for dentistry. And I think these two dentists are a great example of that.
I couldn't agree more. And I feel like, I mean, that's one thing I love about dentistry. I mean, I went into dentistry to become a dentist, obviously. And I thought that just really meant I would just go to private practice. But there's so many beautiful aspects of dentistry where you can take your career. And I think that it's really cool that you guys are kind of, a visionary of where you wanted your career to go. I feel like I'm like, things just sort of, floated into different opportunities as opposed to having kind of a clear vision. So I know you guys are both nowhere near being done, but James, what's next for you? Like, what do you have your eyes on as far as your next achievement?
So the next year really is going to be focused on my role at the ADA, on their board of trustees as the new dentist representative, just because their dentistry is changing so much. We have a whole cohort of generation of dentists and baby boomers that are all retiring, and millennials and Gen X are moving in, and Gen Z coming behind us. And there's going to be a lot of movement and change in dentistry, and we need to be prepared for that as a profession. So that's really going to be my focus for the next year, in addition to just continuing to grow my practice and continue my work with Ignite as well. So that's what I'm excited for this next year.
It's amazing. How about you, Alyssa?
Yeah, so similar to James, growth definitely. We've been a growing practice for some time, and so we had to make some difficult decisions whether we were going to expand our office or decide to become fee for service. So that was quite a challenge to navigate as well, but we've been working with wonderful consultants, Gary Takis, in helping us to navigate going into fee for service. So that's kind of been our goal this next year, is to it's kind of helped to slow down the office and produce more quality of life factors for all of our staff, as far as being able to work with patients, extend appointment times to be able to develop those relationships with our patients, give our assistants a chance to have a bathroom break between patients. We're not quite as focused on being a volume based now, but trying to kind of redirect our thinking as far as our patient care and quality care goes. So that's really been our biggest focus this year. Also, like, we're pretty bread and butter practice, so I would like to expand my dental knowledge as well too, looking into doing dental implants and focusing in also on what we do specialize in. We do BioClear at our office. If you all have heard of that, injection molding heated composite. And so we do a lot of black triangle closures, a lot of cosmetic work. So really kind of focusing in on what we specialize as well.
It's amazing. So I love that. And you mentioned, you had a choice to make. Do you kind of dive deeper with relationships or go to scale? And so David, you guys, went to scale, and relationships I know are valuable to you. So when we have young dentists like Alyssa and James who are rising and they're looking to have the relationships, but also add scale, like any tips, any pointers?
Yeah, look, it's, we, in our model, we operate, a number of practices that look very differently, look very unique. We're not a cookie cutter kind of organization. The one commonality, and I can tell you every member of our organization hears it all the time, the one commonality across all practices is we really push this patient experience, that we have to get it right every time. Patients have so many options today. They likely drive by dozens of practices to come see you. And, we really push this idea of just never give them a reason to try somewhere else. And so, we focus a lot on this, and Dr. Fisher, that kind of crossroads that you're at is something we grapple with. Do you, where does volume and practice growth kind of intersect with a declining patient experience, and how far can you push it before that patient starts to wonder if they matter? If there's a difference between your practice and that relationship they've built, that ability to give them a little extra time, when they have that question, versus what I think a lot of us have started to expect out of the physician side of medicine, which is we're a number, we're not going to be seen on time, that sort of thing. So we are really focused on ensuring that, within our organization, and I hope broadly in dentistry, that we maintain that really close doctor-patient relationship, the ability to build relationships and see multi-generations of a patient. So I don't have a silver bullet. It's something that we grapple with every day, and especially in some of our really high growth practices, there are times where we say, no, we're not adding that extra hygienist. We're not going to add the extra columns. We're not going to expand the office because we're not confident we're quite there yet, maybe in that particular team or as an organization, to do so without, sacrificing the patient experience. So it's tough, but I think, I love the way you're thinking about it. And we share that same philosophy.
Thank you.
That's incredible. So, okay. We talked about, what you're doing, what you're looking forward to, but there's dentists that have just recently graduated that are trying to find their way. So, James, what advice would you give to a new grad?
So very similar to what Alyssa was talking about with finding a mentor, that was probably the biggest influence in my career. David Rice was my mentor. I looked at his restorative practice in Buffalo and I shadowed him a little bit. And I said, that's the type of practice I want. So then I went out and found something that mimicked that and figured out how I could grow that into a vision similar to what he had. So I surrounded myself with people that were doing what I wanted to do, just 5 years, 10 years, 15 years farther ahead, and then called them and asked them for advice and insight along the way. And I always like to try to learn from other people's mistakes, knowing that I'm going to make my own. But if I can minimize that or have a softer landing by learning from others, then that's always an easier path. So find a good mentor would be my advice.
Mm. All right, Alyssa, what would you share?
Same as James too, mentorship invaluable. But another tip would be finding a professional organization to plug into. So if you have a professional organization in your area here in Fort Wayne, it's Isaac Knapp Dental Society. And so that's where I've made a lot of friendships and relied a lot on colleagues, plus the different specialists in our area as well too. It's just important to keep those relationships there and flourishing. And I feel that's, also an invaluable experience for new dentists coming out, just learning from others, as James said too, and knowing that you're going to have to learn your way, but maybe there's a way to cushion, from mistakes as well too, and learn from it. And just taking each day with humility, and that each be different, and it's okay. Sometimes you're going to fall, and as long as you have that support system there to catch you, that's really what's important.
So as we kind of wrap up, one last maybe like rapid fire question for your answer for all three of you. So mentorship, we've talked a lot about mentorship today, and I love that. So music to our ears. But let's be honest, like young dentists are coming out of school with a lot of debt, and money's a thing. So, short answer, James, but maybe learn more. How should a new grad handle that?
So for me, it was all about leverage and trying to create the economic engine that would then pay down the debt. So it was doing income-based repayment to keep my cash flow in check in those initial early years, and investing early in high quality CE, like Dawson or Empress or Spear, Coyce, Pankey, so that I could invest in my career to then, when I buy my practice and have that CE quality skill set, I can then generate the revenue to then pay down the debt faster. So it's a little scary at first, signing and buying a practice early on in your career, or writing those big checks to the academies for that CE. But 2 or 3 years down the line, as long as you implement and you get systems and you hold yourself accountable to follow through with all of that, it pays dividends in the long run.
Amazing. Alyssa?
Agreed. As I said, I'm married to a financial advisor, so this is super easy for me. I just go to him. But you know, resisting the urge when you come out right away to just splurge on the things you don't need to at this point. So that the brand new car, maybe just hold off on that a little bit until you you are ready to purchase that. Kind of living like we did in dental school and even in college, just, again, just the necessities and taking a look at your finances, maybe paying off the loans that have the highest interest rates first, and then kind of moving from there. So again, I'm fortunate to be married to a financial advisor, so he handles a lot of that. But those would be my words of advice: is just try to live within your means and save and invest, as James said as well.
Awesome.
How about you, David?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard for me to to differ from what two successful young doctors have experienced. One of the things that I always encourage doctors early in their career when I talk to them, and Dr. Fisher actually brought it up, it's when you're looking at opportunities, looking for an opportunity where there's a large enough patient base and new patient base to support a second doctor or a third doctor, whatever that doctor is going to be. Too often young doctors get caught up in this, man, I want to go to this super niche cosmetic practice, or I want, I'm going here because this is what I envisioned. And they often get there and they're 2 or 3 years in and they haven't done enough procedures or reps to really develop that skill set, as Dr. Wanamaker said, that's going to really pay off ultimately, long term. So I just encourage doctors, look for the opportunity where you're going to get a lot of reps, the ability to expand your skill set as early as possible in your career, and figure out what you want to do. A lot of young doctors look out and look at the doctor that's been practicing 30 or 40 years and they go, I want that. And really kind of missing the fact that those doctors have spent a lot of time building a practice where they can focus on what they love to do and do best. And so really pushing yourself personally, professionally, early in your career to be the best doctor you can be. And again, you're not playing for the first 5 years. You're really playing for those next 20 and 30 years of your career to set yourself up for success.
And I have to say, it just gets more fun with each passing year once you kind of get your feet on the ground and you get rolling. So you guys, I mean, it's so obvious why you were selected as DE's Rising Stars. And I'm so grateful that you guys joined us to talk about it today. I know you guys both had really cool write-ups in dental economics, but it's also nice to see you and hear your stories. And it's inspiring. So I really enjoyed our chat today.
I did too. Young docs, I think you've got some great colleagues to look to. Probably a whole lot easier than looking to some of us who've been doing this a little longer and see that people are actually thriving in these times today. So Alyssa, James, David, thank you so much for being here. Pam, I'm so pumped for Rising Stars.
I am too, and there's more to come. So if you or somebody is a rising star, nominate them. It's super easy. Go to www.dentaleconomics.com and you'll see a little tab that says Rising Stars and fill it out. So you just never know. You or somebody might just be selected to be our next rising star. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And for Dentistry Unmasked, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening to the show this week. And thanks to our guests and sponsors on this episode.
Please check out our social media at Dr. Pamela_Maragliano and at Dental Economics Official.
Or you can check me out at Ignite DDS or at Dr. David Rice.
And go to dentaleconomics.com to receive dental economics. You can choose to receive DE in print or digitally, and you can also get the details of our Principles of Practice Management conference on our website.
If you have topics or guests or anything you'd like to talk about on the show, send us an email to dentistryunmaskedpodcast@gmail.com, and we will do our very best to make it happen. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.